Hello there, this is Gamertroll, and I thought I might talk a little bit about the Division beta after playing it for some good hours with some friends the other night, and I've got to say, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I was looking at it and I was thinking, the Division looks drab as fuck, you know, it's really drab and boring and lots of sort of buildings, gutted buildings and trash, you know, everything's just big piles of rubbish and that didn't seem like a very exciting prospect to me. New York, as it is, I think there's not the most interesting sort of area because it's all just divided into blocks and, you know, you'd think it wouldn't be a good, I didn't think it would be a good area anyway to base a game, but playing it, and because you've got the Christmas decorations up and everything for the Black Friday, which is like the setting of the disaster starting and all the rest of it actually works really well. I was really pleasantly surprised by how well the cover system works. The cover system is just, well, they should probably be paying royalties to Gears of War because it's not quite as slick as Gears of War, but it pretty much runs along the same thing. It really is the same sort of control going on there. It's the same buttons and everything, and that is a good thing. The blind fire is not very blind, so you can kill a lot of people without even sort of taking an aim over cover, which is brilliant. And you know, you can sort of stand up on the bonnets of lorries and trucks and stuff and shoot over the cab, and that's brilliant. You know, that takes it to another level. So that's a really great plus for this game as well. I really rate it for that. If you know what to copy and what not to copy, then that is definitely the way to go. A lot of people have said that this is a sort of Destiny. This is a different flavour of Destiny. If you don't want to be floating around in pink armour and like all the other sort of camp stuff that you can do in Destiny, it's just not your thing to do the sci-fi, then this really is your straight sort of army military shooter alternative to it, except for I would say it's not as dumb as things like Battlefield. It's a little bit more precise in its control. It's not so dependent, obviously, on being part of a very large cohesive group as well. I mean, you want to work together, but ultimately you can do quite well as a lone wolf by the seam of it. 2 or 3 good players are going to really, you know, clear up. 4 people are just going to murder if they're working together. But you know, there isn't a great deal of content in this beta, and you'll be repeating a lot of the same sort of things. It will be interesting to see how the game manages to stand up, it will need a lot of variety. You can't just be sort of walking up and down these blocks going to like shoot the same grey enemies, look like gang members and bums. And then you get the odd one with flamethrower and some extra armour, which is barely discernible from anybody else in the distance, and they're just a bullet sponge, you know. It's like some named enemy that takes shitloads of bullets. That is a similarity with Destiny, that although they want comparisons, they don't want that one. That's a shit thing on Destiny, and you don't want to be caught. Every time you give someone a boss or a mission or something like that, you just give a big bullet sponge boss and spam shitloads of enemies at them, like the minor enemies. That would be shit, and that's not decent variation. It's not a place that I want to spend a great deal of time, you know, with. I don't want to be in a world that's that, you know, that sort of repetitive. But you know, you can't tell that that's the route it's going so far. I would be very interested to see how they're going to vary these enemies, because they ultimately are just humanoid in a sort of, you know, near future, present setting. So you'll have to see how creative they can be, but if they can sort of work in things like Central Park and or like some New York museums and landmarks and things like that, you know, or like you can go off to the Statue of Liberty in Staten Island or whatever and all that sort of thing. If you can do those things and you don't have to pay through the arse for it on shitty DLC, then I reckon a Division could really clean up. It could be a fantastic you know, diversion, a really nice sort of alternative to Destiny, or people that can't stomach Destiny, or just are bored of it and want to move on to another sort of MMO style thing. I'm not sure I can call it an RPG. I know they are calling the Division an RPG, but I can't do it because it isn't. It's a shooter. It's got RPG elements, you know, and they're good ones. You know, I like the weapons and things. You'll be selling a lot of it and chucking a lot of it off, and I've got a feeling that in the game it's going to be a lot harder to get hold of than it is in this beta. So they're giving us a nice little play around, like the sidearm. That sidearm kicks ass. You can sort of shoot people in the head, really kick, you know, really cause some trouble. And as for an aesthetic point of view, changing the appearance of your character and things like that, that's quite engaging and it's fun. I thought straight away, watching everyone else getting their baseball caps and stuff like that, I thought I want a fucking beanie hat. And I rifled through every building I could, whilst my team members were sort of, my teammates were sort of, you know, looking through their stuff. And I found one. It didn't take very long to find a beanie hat, and I was satisfied. And you know, a bit of trendy garb and all the rest of it makes all the difference in personalising your character. But I do hope for a lot more personalisation of the facial features of the character, you know, because like at the moment, there's about 4 or 5 presets which you just sort of flick through. I expect there's going to be a decent sort of editor to sort of create your own characters. Because I did notice that some of the NPCs have got the faces of the characters that were randomised as well. The Dark Zone's an interesting sort of facet of this game, in that you know, you can go in there as a team. You wouldn't really want to go solo, and there doesn't seem to be much impetus, as a few people have pointed out, to be rogue, because everybody just turns on you. You know, most people, you become rogue just because someone's aiming at you and you fire back at them, because everybody psychs you out. You fire one bullet bloody contacts, and that's it. You are everyone's trying to shoot you, and you know, that doesn't seem to be really worth it, considering the loot's fairly easy to get as part of a team collaborating with everyone. Perhaps the loot that you get will be so good when you turn rogue that that's what's worth doing. And it does occur to me that just being good at turning rogue with a team of friends which are like-minded probably will attract quite a few people just to be bastards, basically. But you know, the Dark Zone seems to work really nicely. It's obviously got a different sort of leveling system to the main game, which is a bit puzzling, which means you can't go in with certain people. So if someone's at the top level, for the purpose of this beta, that was level 8, and their teammates at 7, you go through the DZ, the Dark Zone door, and they're not there. It's the two, you know, only the lower level characters can play together, whereas the top level one can't come in, which is a bit annoying. They need to sort that out. Really, they want to sort of equalise. I think they should equalise the way that people enter the Dark Zone, and just let their player skill sort of determine whether they survive or not. Ultimately, levels doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because you level up to a point and then it's just going to exclude people who've played for a long time into a place where they're probably going to get their asses handed to them. But you know, yeah, so that's pretty much it for a wrap up. I mean, the Division beta is a surprise to me. I've been avoiding really taking much notice of it because I hate hype. Cannot stand hype, and it ruins games for me. People talking about shit that they have no fucking idea, and a lot of these YouTubers and stuff that are getting like advanced look-ins and advanced plays, they've all got their finger in the pie, and they want, you know, they're gonna, oh, you can play this if you talk about it in this sort of way, or if you're positive about it. So you can't really rely on any of that sort of crap. It doesn't matter if you trust someone. Even as they get bigger, they end up just sort of taking on shit. So like, you know, if you haven't played the beta, you can definitely trust what I'm saying, that I've got no agenda whatsoever. I don't make jack shit. They ain't giving me anything, and I will say that it's good. I really like it. So I'm quite pleased, and I think I will be definitely playing the game in March the 8th. And yeah, let's wrap it up, and hope to see you online playing the Division. Ta-da.